Welcome, Mark Brooks.
Let's go. Bring it. So we're going to play a game here. Before you answer, we're going to play a game. The game is called Stupid or Liar. So either you were too stupid to realize what I would type was sarcastic, or you're going to say you didn't realize it was sarcastic and you're lying. So pick one.
Stupid.
Everything is stupid. Everything is stupid. You ask it to Mark. Everything is stupid. Or maybe just Mr. Mark not to drop, but prefers to break the lines and the lies. He is mad all the time. He's seen alcoholic or maybe psychotic. If you watch very quick, look at his singer from the sea. Everything is stupid. Everything is stupid. You ask it to Mark. Everything is stupid. If you bother to cry. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tell me what you do. Everybody's ruining. Strangers suffer. Everyone's stupid. Have it on Mark. Used to be handsome. Used to grace that Charles Manson. Called you an acid. Had the opportunity to question everything, including masculinity. He called you toxic like a real feminist. And that's mandatory for that. He's the employee. 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 He's the employee.
You look like teenage Nazi Santa Claus.
I'm very much a Nazi, aren't I? Sure.
Hey, you said it.
Yeah.
You said it.
You called me Nazi Santa Claus before. I must be a Nazi.
Listen, Ethan. Here's the deal.
Everything is stupid. Everything is stupid. Ask it to Mark. Everything is stupid. Or maybe just that.
Bell Red, Moonshine, and Twitless.
Stupid.
Micah, Oz, and Liam.
Stupid.
Skyver, Ralph, and Klein.
Veritas.
Hey, Dollar, TJ, and Java.
Stupid.
George, Gip, and Chris.
Stupid.
Sheila, Summer, and Saggy. Philip, Daria, and Vic.
Stupid.
Nasser, Doug, and Mike.
Very stupid.
Listen, sociopath, you narcissistic sociopath, I told you, I'm not debating you anymore. You want me? Come see me. I got you covered. I got you, my friend. And if I don't ever see you, I'm going to assume it's you who's the coward and the woman. Come see me, my friend. I'm bigger than you, dude.
Yeah, I agree.
I am. Well, I mean, not physically. That's not possible.
The Civil War was America's bloodiest conflict. Over 500,000 died to preserve national unity. When the war ended, Confederates like Harley Brogdon headed west, shooting game for the Army and gambling. When a card game turns deadly, Harley shoots in self-defense, killing the card sharp who threw down first. Wilfred Knorr, the card sharp's wealthy father, will stop at nothing to see Harley hang. Harley flees to Cobb's Gap, an old silver mining town at the foot of the Rockies. A remarkably peaceful town, especially after dark. But the sheriff harbors a dark secret, and no one dares go into the mines anymore. Cobb's Gap is full of secrets. People speak in hushed tones of something in the mine. Something worse than their cursed sheriff. Something even the Indians fear. Tired of running, Harley falls in love with a local widow with secrets of her own. But when Knorr's posse arrives seeking vengeance, the stage is set for a showdown with unimaginable horrors from the deepest pits of hell. And every secret will be exposed. Eisner winner Mike Barron and acclaimed illustrator Pat Broderick present one of the weirdest westerns that Comic Dom has ever seen. Bronze Star, a thrilling tale of love, revenge, and supernatural terror from the minds of two legendary creators. It's not the monster you're looking for. Order your copy at bronzestarcomic.com.
If you took all the cigarettes in the world and laid them end to end, you would never have time to smoke a single one. Now, isn't that a great idea?
America's southern border has become a war zone. Human traffickers, drug smugglers, and terrorists flow across the Rio Grande with impunity, secure in the knowledge that no one will stop them. A distant federal government lectures Americans on their privilege while punishing overworked border patrol agents who were helpless to stem the tidal wave of invaders and determined migrants. Second-generation Cuban-American Marcos Zamora is a military vet, more patriotic than most Americans. No longer able to ignore the chaos at his doorstep, he acts. Joined by his best friend Gus, they hit the border every night, saving lives while stopping violent drug cartels and other opportunists. The government reacts with fury at Marcos' attempts to preserve American sovereignty, deploying the full might of their enforcement agencies. But Marcos understands that the only thing the rich and powerful fear is bad publicity, and he records every encounter. Whoever he is, this private American must be stopped. Illustrated by Richard Bonk and written by Eisner winner Mike Barron, Private American is his version of Captain America, and maybe a little Punisher, taking part in this ongoing, violent, and very real battle of good versus evil in the war for American sovereignty. Grab your copy at theprivateamerican.com.
We have a secure border, and that is a priority for our administration.
Raid of the White Leopard, Book 1, is the story of a band of Vikings that get caught up in a storm and wash up on a mysterious island. Written by Edwin Acevedo, the writer of The Ace, with art by Avery Butterworth from The Lost Pages. Back it today on fundmycomic.com.
The Immortal Mask, a 1970s superhero crime noir adventure that follows a retired soldier who is given a covenant interview with a death row inmate. What he learns from the interview thrusts him into Atlanta's shadowy underworld. He'll have to utilize his military training to survive from being hunted for the information that could topple the most powerful ruling class in the city. This is not a pre-order or a crowdfunding campaign. Get your books now at denali's.com.
It only takes a careless moment to turn this into this. Don't let forest fires be your fault. Make sure your fire is dead out.
Remember, only you can prevent forest fires.
They call me a god. 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 Let's go. They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
I'm about to go off like a weapon. Fuel to the top, got a filled up engine. In my thoughts obsession.
In a world where creatures of myth and legend exist, a covert task force is charged with keeping humanity safe from supernatural threats. And when young Nancy Moon stumbles into the eternal battle between good and evil, she finds...
Oh my god, will you shut up? What's happening? Agent Beckett here. Aren't you tired of stuff like that? Want something different? Roll the tape. Whoops. Sorry about that. That's a song I'm writing for my ex. Okay, here we go. Yeah, that's more like it. Alrighty. Welcome to the world of the mythicals. We have it all. Monsters. Magic. Government agents. He's the strong silent type. This guy. Oh, gross, dude. Get some kind of cream or something. Lots of 90s style action. Pew pew pew. And that strong female lead alluded to earlier. Not to mention a dashing field commander with a great sense of fashion. Look at those glasses. South River Studios presents The Mythicals, Issue 1. Buy it, if you dare. Oh, will you can it already? How'd you get free? Now beat it before I lose my cool.
So what are you waiting for? Back it today. Like right now.
Back the Mythicals today.
Our brethren are already in the field. Why stand we here idle? What is it the gentlemen wish? What would they have? Is life so dear, or peace so sweet? Has to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery? Forbid it, Almighty God.
I don't know, I fucked others.
destiny. Give me liberty, or give me death.
Get ready for an exhilarating journey into the boundless world of imagination. Welcome, comic book enthusiasts, to the extraordinary realm of Out of Obscurity. This groundbreaking anthology, published by Arrow Comics, unveils a legion of aspiring creators, each eager to leave their mark on the industry. Prepare to be captivated as they breathe new life into obscure public domain characters, creating their own unique tales within the pages of this awe-inspiring collection. Out of Obscurity is a testament to the unwavering passion and creative prowess of these emerging talents. They have meticulously resurrected forgotten heroes and heroines, spinning intricate yarns that span the ages. Brace yourself for action-packed battles, mind-bending mysteries, and heartwarming triumphs that will transport you to uncharted territories of excitement. By supporting our Fund My Comic campaign, you become an essential part of this historic endeavor. Together, we can catapult these aspiring creators towards their dreams of comic book glory. Join us on this epic odyssey and witness the birth of new legends. Your generous contributions will not only help us bring Out of Obscurity to life, but also grant you access to exclusive rewards, including remarkable artwork, signed copies, and behind-the-scene glimpses. Embrace the spirit of adventure, for within these pages, untold wonders await. Together, let us ignite the spark of greatness within these visionary talents and redefine the landscape of the comic book universe. Be a part of history and make Out of Obscurity a reality.
They call me a god. 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 Let's go. They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
I'm about to go off like a weapon. Fuel to the top, got a filled up engine. In my thoughts obsession.
Hello, welcome everybody.
Hello, welcome everybody.
I see what you did there. Very funny. I don't know what's going on. Look at my screen in the background.
Oh, it's very cute.
Yeah, that's funky crazy. Let me see if I can do something about that.
Anyways,
Hey, you're in my picture. There we go. Hi. So it's a serious night. I have the white face paint on. That means I'm in a serious mood, folks.
Yep.
We're here tonight to talk about Cyclopian number 5.
Yep.
It's launched. We need $100. We're at 15. $100 isn't that much. So I'm here to shill tonight, specifically for Cyclopian 5.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something I do often, but I put on the paint. I'm ready to go. Diana.
Yes.
Tell us something about Cyclopian 5.
Cyclopian 5. Well, Peter continues his amazing adventures. He is found, okay? He is found by Captain Aura. Captain Aura and Dr. Jill obviously are on the look, as you remember from Cyclopian 4, where he crash landed in the swamp. So that's where we open up here. Here is the Fund My Comic campaign.
Yeah, I'm going to roll that by while you talk.
Okay.
So let's talk a second. Cyclopian crash lands in basically the Florida Everglades in issue 4. Issue 5, we see him right here. Actually, we see them going to visit Maya, who is actually Plato's cousin. And this leads into Cyclopian calling his retrieval number. This is a number given to him by the federal government so that in the case or in the event that he needs a pickup, he can call it. And of course, Captain Aura and Dr. Jill are ready to intercept.
Mm-hmm.
And this is an integral part of the story now. This here is kind of cool because it illustrates Captain Aura jumping from a plane. For those not up on Cyclopian, Captain Aura has been the coach, the life trainer for Cyclopian for about the last year. And okay, we have a little bit of humor there. I hope you all like the humor. However, I digress. In this case, Captain Aura decided to go out and find Cyclopian. Instead of sending a rescue team, he felt it was important enough. And in issue 5, he discovers that something is different with Cyclopian. Now, you have to remember, he did a mind merge of sorts with Plato because of Plato's disposition as a creature. He is largely platypus mixed with human DNA. Because Cyclopian has discovered that he can actually communicate on a telepathic level with creatures that are actually not human, inferior to human. Their brains are open to him in some way that we don't yet understand when he touches them physically. So Plato and him have a very interesting relationship. And getting into issue 5, we're going to see that expand a bit. We're going to understand a bit more about Cyclopian and his understanding about his origins. Is he actually extraterrestrial? We're going to dig a little deeper. And that leads into issue 6, which, believe it or not, folks, I'm already on page 11 of. And I say that because this is not a series to be trifled with. This is an ongoing serious event, and it's getting better by the moment. That's my pitch for the moment. You want to spit in here and do something, babe?
No, every time I open my mouth, you like butt in. So my pitch for my elevator pitch for the Great Cyclopean 5 is not mastered. I have not said it enough. I have not worked out the kinks enough. So I kind of go all over it. But at any rate, it's an amazing book. And I'm giggling over here as you're talking because I have dual screens. Like I have 2 screens, but I have them like this stacked up. So I'm looking at my bigger monitor because it's easier to see. And I find myself and I'll look down and I'll realize that the camera's watching me look off into the distance. So I apologize if anybody's seeing that. I am paying attention. I wanted
It looks good to me.
Well, you're so funny. That was it. It looks good to me. That was it after my big long story.
You look great.
Like right now, I'm looking at the stupid monitor above the camera.
But
Can
you look
tell?
fine. You look okay. Yeah, you look fine.
So I try to look down at the green bucket. Anyway.
So
I'm very excited
Terry has said Cyclopian is an empath. Yes, of sorts, but
somewhat.
The exchange of thoughts, as we'll learn in issue 5, it's almost like getting a file dump into a hard drive. The person receiving the thought patterns, he doesn't experience them. It's not like he can feel them, but he knows what's going on. It's like a different understanding, more clear understanding. And the interesting thing is that is shared, and because Plato is part human, even though he doesn't speak, he does use sign language, and he's able to relate some of the information that he sees in Cyclopian's memories that Cyclopian has never been able to truly retrieve or understand because of the age that he was at that time. So there's a unique twist in the story, and I'm very excited about it. I will tell you, though, if this campaign fails, being only $100, I will probably be doing other things next after this. But issue 6 is already almost in the can. Issue 5 is wonderful, and we are pushing hard.
Yes.
If you're watching this and you have a show, we are looking to get out on the shows. We're hoping to hit up many of our friends.
Yes.
And get out there and push a little bit.
I have put some out there. What was I going to say to you? Completely forgot what I was going to say. Shh. Never mind. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, it's a little slow tonight, but see, this is part of the problem. If you are watching this, and I know Terry is, hi Terry, we need our friends to like and share and push this stuff around. We need as much of a boost as we can get. I'm working with like 20 followers on Twitter, and I don't even know how many on Facebook, but Facebook is not It's not as active as it used to be for me, at least.
Hmm.
And I don't know. We're going to be releasing more videos. I did the edited video for Cyclopian launching for this show. But there are things that I want to talk about that we will be releasing shorts on. Because
Yes.
YouTube loves shorts.
Whoa, I know, and we haven't done many shorts, but we will be.
I actually have never done a formal short. It's an actual format that they like to use.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you got my guy up, Peter.
I do. Yes, I do. So this is prototype number 3 of the Cyclopian doll, folks.
Yeah.
This will one day be available for sale once he's perfected, but he's getting closer to perfection.
Yeah.
Every edition. This is number 3, and I'm quite proud of Diana and her work. To give you a little bit of contrast, this is number 2, and he didn't have a cape, and the C was a little weird. And okay, yeah. And now number 1 is perhaps my favorite, but it's mostly because of the sentimental value. And I've shown this off several times, but the C was taped on, and yeah, that's falling apart. And the eye, actually, we did lose the eye. I don't know where it went, but
that was using scrap fabric. I was trying to just make sure the pattern that I made, because I made my own pattern, that it would work. So I didn't want to use the good fabric. And I've already modified it about 4 more times. You just haven't seen the actual.
So this is literally like if
see the legs crooked and stuff, because I wasn't really paying attention. It was more like, would they fold and all that.
If this is a parody for Superman, this is a parody for Bizarro. And I'm very happy with that.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
You know, we are invested in this character, and we are more than happy to produce this stuff. Looking forward to going to Plastic City Comic-Con, because we always do well live, and this will be the second show that I'll be appearing in face paint. I do think we're going to dump the platform shoes.
Yeah.
When I wore those last show, the heel literally fell apart and was, to be quite honest, probably of great danger to me. And I was very fortunate not to fall off and break my ankle. And maybe they'll return if we can find a way to secure that or get a better quality boot.
Right.
But these boots, I think we're going to have to retire them. We haven't really addressed fixing them, and it's because they're so poorly constructed, really. But they were a neat experiment, and I'm still going to be painted. I can tell you that it does impact the crowd that we get at the table, and I'm anxious to do that among a crowd that's more local to us.
Yeah.
Do you have any ice cans to promote the books to kids? No, we don't, and we probably won't. Mostly because at this point, I can't afford that kind of stuff. I'm on a shoestring. And honestly, and I'm not saying this, you know, you guys out there watching, do not take this the wrong way, please. But we are at a point where it's a small business, and it's based on certain benchmarks. And if we don't get there, we're going to change focus.
Yes.
You know, and it's not to say that I won't still be involved in comics somehow, but let's face it, there are means and ways to make money in this thing if you just, like, for example, draw Marvel and DC for a living. I know, not to the comics I'm talking about just pinups. Going to shows and just drawing quality pinups. You can make a, you know, hand over fist.
Yeah, it's a very interesting market as far as what's accepted and what's not. And
well, and I'm not so stubborn to believe that I'm creating something awesome if it doesn't sell. So if Cyclopian tanks, I'll be okay with that, but I'll have to take that as a sign, you know.
Well, I don't think we'll be okay with it. We'll be very sad.
Well, yeah, but when I say okay, I mean, like, what I'm trying to say is lower the boom. Like, I'm not saying I'll be suicidal or that I will never draw again, but it would be disappointing, yes.
Yeah. No.
Why am I the only one on screen? There we go.
I'm right here. I don't know.
I know. I had it still on me when I was on Cyclopian.
Remember, you had the doll up, so that's why.
Right. Yeah.
And that's why. So, all in all, this is an unusual time for us. We decided this morning to, hey, let's throw a stream up and see if we can generate some interest to our latest.
Well,
and
let's
greatest-
share with the wide audience that we have right now what happened on Wednesday night. So Wednesday, we didn't know if we were approved or not. We got approval about what? I'd say, were we live when we got approval?
Yeah, because I was checking it.
Right. But the problem was we were approved for 9 p.m. Pacific time,
Yes.
which meant we had to go, or one of us had to stay up until midnight. So there was literally probably a 35-minute launch stream. I know
Right.
Rick was there. Thank you, Rick. You backed the book. I think Terry was there. And we've had a couple of you since then. But it was a very quiet launch stream.
Yeah.
And, hey, marketing is not my best trait. Making comics is. But we're working on that, and we will get better at it. But talking, we were like, well, we really need to start streaming more, and we need to get on shows. So for one thing, we're streaming right now. Soon we'll be on other shows, I'm sure.
Yes.
If not, I'll start begging and pleading. And
I've reached out to a few people, and hopefully we'll hear back from them.
I think we need to find other shows as well, though, because we burden these shows that we go on, and I think that I don't know, they haven't been effective, and I'm not blaming them, but maybe we just need to try to market to a different crowd or a different age group, or I don't know.
I get it. Well,
we have to cast some nets.
What's that?
We have to cast some nets.
Yes, we do.
Into some fresh water.
What was I going to say? God, why am I so forgetful tonight?
Because you've been out in the sun all day working and you have a heat stroke of some sort.
I know.
Not
Look at
fatal or anything.
Thing. That's so funny. That looks so funny.
What's that?
Did you know that? What you just did.
This?
Yeah, it looked funny.
I have an itch.
What?
I have an itch. I can't itch it though.
Oh my God. The woes of wearing face paint.
It's awesome. It's quite a discipline.
So anyway, we are hoping that this little quick stream to say hi to everybody will have people click on it. And if you click on it, obviously like and subscribe, but check out the Fun My Comic Great Cyclopian campaign. Yes, and Mighty Geeks was there.
Yes, that's what I was saying.
Oh, okay.
So real quick, I will do this again because I enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
For $5, we have the PDF that will be delivered at the end of the campaign. All 24 pages in full color, plus any extras that are put in there at the end, such as some of the artwork and a little bit of writing. For $15, you get the 24-page full color comic. That's a beautiful edition. It's wonderful. It's just like the other 4 copies if you're a regular customer. And you can back that just by clicking right there on Choose Your Reward. Now, for $20, we have the Great Cyclopian #5 t-shirt. I can't show you a zoomed in on this right now because of the way this page is set up, and I'm not familiar enough with it. But it features Cyclopian inside of a rotary dial. It's rather humorous. It has to do with the story and the phone call he has to make. And that's available for $20 plus shipping.
Yes.
For $25, we have the Great Cyclopian Metal Collector Card Set #1. This is official. Now, not all of these are brand new pieces. However, they are the most popular pieces, and there are new pieces in here. And we'll be repeating this with set 2 with issue 6, which is following. And then we'll continue to do that so long as we can continue to make these books. Over here, we have the $50 package, which is the Great Cyclopian Collection. Now, we'll always feature this. It's always going to go up a little bit more, but there'll be ways to pick up these books by themselves. Just stay tuned for that. However, you can get all 5 right now for $50. And yeah, that's going to be a fine way to catch up on the collection. Now, this is the pinnacle of all our books. This is exciting. We have infused certain copies of the Great Cyclopian #5 with Cyclopian's scent. That's right. It's an exclusive for this campaign only. But buy this tier for $50 and you will receive Cyclopian scent on a comic book. This is not a scratch and sniff. This is Infusion. It's very special, and I'm very excited about it. I'm going to be stashing a couple of these myself because, to be honest, I happen to like the way Cyclopian smells. What about you, honey?
I love the way he smells.
Very good. Okay, so this is like our bargain collection of everything that's new. So what you're going to get here is you're going to get a copy of issue 5. You're going to get the collector's cards, and you're going to get the T-shirt. You'll have to tell us what size, of course, and you pick that up for $60 plus shipping, and you'll be getting all that in a grand order, and we'll be very happy to serve you with it. This join the Discord, by the way. That's join their Discord. That's not our Discord because we don't actually participate in Discord. We have one, I believe, because I have to use one to get into Cross Comics drawstring, but it's not somewhere where we're focused. So, yeah, that's theirs. Yes. So Terry has this to say: the majority of comic fans are over 18. I tend to agree with you, Terry. My hope is that we can nurture some younger readers. One thing I hear a lot of is people say that there aren't enough all ages books or books that are appropriate for children. My goal with Cyclopian is to do what was done before me in the sense that I grew up reading comics that were under the Comics Code Authority. As much as people hate that, it sets a good boundary for a creator like myself to impose on my own creativity. So in other words, I'm not going to have cussing. There won't be explicit sex. There won't be overly grotesque body horror. Now, even with that said, I would say that these books would be safest to be called PG, not PG-13. But I would recommend this with any book. A parent should read the book before the child does, or at least read it with them or skim through it.
That's so true.
And with comics, you can just basically flip the pages, and if you see something that's weird, you can stop and read it and see what the context is and go, all right, my 7-year-old shouldn't read this, or yeah, this is fine. Timmy can deal with this. This is no problem. It's up to you, the parent, but it's up to us to kind of guide you. So I would say it's a PG book. And I would welcome any parent to check it out. I'm rather proud of it. Cyclopian, his name is Peter. He has a personality that shines, and it's going to shine even more because in issue 5, he begins to explore what I would call teen angst, rebellion. But it's a righteous rebellion. Like so many teens in their rebellion, they're righteous. They're just fighting it the wrong ways. And Cyclopian is going to butt heads a little bit. And he's going to learn some lessons. But every hero has a journey, if you know what I'm saying. And his hero's journey is just getting started.
That's true.
He's only had one mission, and he's ready to quit.
Right.
Because he wasn't ready for the brutality of working for the government as a superhero agent. But don't let that make you think he's a quitter. He just wants to do what he believes is right.
He's not a quitter, but I mean, I think you factor in the teen angst, and he doesn't have a personality that lends itself to being violent or aggressive. He doesn't.
Well, he has a moral fiber to him,
right?
That is often lacking in just youth in general, because you know, I remember I was like 17, I knew everything, and then by the time I was 25, I had forgotten most of it and found myself in major trouble. Yeah, I mean, who didn't, right? We all thought we had all the answers when we were teens, or at least I hope we all did. That's the life I lived.
Yeah, that's pretty. Like nobody else knows it better than they do, or we did when we were teens, right?
Yeah, it's not until you get into your 20s that you start forgetting everything that
and
you knew.
I think it's interesting because in the previous issues, Cyclopian was always very agreeable, and he might have sighed a little bit, you know, oh, okay, fine, but he always did it. And this issue, we do really see this side of Peter, this side of the great Cyclopian, where he starts to rebel. And you haven't taken it. I don't think you've taken his rebellion as far as you plan to in this issue. I feel like he is going to become more and more rebellious could
All right,
be.
so I'm gonna tease issue 6, even though we haven't even fulfilled 5 as far as a total yet. But I'm on page 11 of issue 6, and so far it's 98% physical battle. So what happens ultimately is there is a clash between the Great Cyclopian and Captain Aura. And Captain Aura is the beneficiary of the aura suit, which basically feeds off a human's aura and converts it into a sort of force field with some caveats and some tweaks to it. It's quite powerful, and Captain Aura is quite powerful in the suit, more powerful than your average human would be in it because he's specifically trained and is tuned to his frequencies. On the other hand, Cyclopian is emerging. They believe his top power limit is lifting 20 tons. They believe that he is limited in many ways. They believe that they understand him. The problem is Cyclopian is still developing. And in issue 6, we'll be seeing much more of that development come to light. But you need to, when creating a good story, tell it properly, space it properly, pace it properly. And issue 5 had to happen for issue 6 to happen. And if you read all of them in succession, it is written in a very serial sort of moment, sort of style. There are endings, but there are always branches going into the next issue. So you'll pick up on all the cues in 5, and in 6, you'll understand what's going on. The question that I can't wait for everybody to ask is what's happening in 7. When all is said and done, what is the outcome?
Okay, so we have now moved from issue 6 already into issue 7.
No, I haven't said anything about 7. What I'm saying is 5 is leading into 6, of course.
Yes.
And the question will be, where does this all come? What is the conclusion of all this? And that will hit in 7. We'll finally understand what's going on with Cyclopian for the foreseeable future. And it's going to be exciting. There are characters that have been established previously that will impact him. There are characters arriving at the mansion, in story time that are going to affect Cyclopian's life, such as the Bee Knight, such as Arctic Blast.
Right.
It's a growing universe, and it's full of excitement and twists and turns, and I can't wait.
Yep.
Yes.
But
we have to get to $100, or else I'm going to become extremely depressed.
We need you to go on over to Fund My Comic. Chris, do you have that linked anywhere? Is it in the description?
I believe.
All right.
Let me double check, but I believe it's right there in the description. Okay. In fact, if I click it, yep, it goes there.
Okay, does it go right to our page?
Yeah, it goes right to our page. Now, I will tell anybody who's not familiar with Fund My Comic, it's very similar to Kickstarter or Indiegogo. I have used it successfully on 3 different campaigns as a customer. And now this is our first campaign as a vendor. I can tell you that it's pleasant. It's awesome. The backstage area, if you will, the admin panels, all seem to make sense. Our confusion was based on our own missteps, but as it comes together, it makes a lot of sense.
Well, it was more or less because we hadn't used the platform before.
Exactly.
It's not hard to do. It's just, it's like anything. You pop onto something new. It takes a few minutes to kind of learn to navigate. And so
the more you do it, though,
the
more intuitive it becomes.
Right.
We actually have to unlearn bad habits from Indiegogo and Kickstarter to make it work right. I call them bad. I thought there were unintuitive stuff that we had to do. That is part of the thing I like is how you set up your financials with Fund My Comic. You have more control over that because you're direct.
Yep. Yeah, that is kind of cool. So we have lots of room for people to come in and help us out. We've only had a day, and I think we've had one person has backed it.
We've
So
been blessed with one backer named Rick.
Yep.
Rick from Cross Comics, who is probably one of the best friends of our company and our personas online.
Mhm.
But let me tell you guys before we do anything, why did we wait to promote till tonight? Why didn't we start on Thursday or Friday night? So Thursday, Diana and I had the blessed glory to go see Living Color and the rock legend band Extreme.
Yay. That was
And
awesome.
actually, it was Living Color. I wasn't so excited about because I only know a handful of their songs, but they were quite good. Then, of course, Extreme came out and they were just everything I wanted them to be.
It was
My
a fun
only
night.
disappointment was they didn't play every song off their new album, which I need to understand. That's how a live tour goes.
Yeah.
But it was wonderful. We went back to the campsite, and I had a very good night. So I had taken a
I just-
5-hour energy before the concert because I
Yes.
did not want to be drowsy at the concert
So Chris does not like to camp
much.
ever.
Sometimes.
No. So go ahead. You had your 5-hour energy. You're all
So we
repping.
get back and I'm all edgy and I'm getting a little nervy because I don't like camping at night. I don't mind it as much in the day. And so I'm sitting at the table and lo and behold, my iPad goes down. My phone is running out of batteries. My little handheld emulator goes out. So I'm just being a little pissy. And I'm sitting there pouting, and Diana goes to bed because actually I beg her to. I'm like, no, I'm just in a bad mood. Go to bed. I'm sitting there, and finally I succumb, and I start charging my iPad in this electrical box outside in the woods, and I didn't want to do it, but I did it anyways. And I'm going through, and I'm waiting, and all of a sudden I hear this growl behind me and a ruffle in the woods, and I jump, and I run towards the car. I hit the lights, and there's something tugging on the little bag of trash that Diana has hung off a tree. Now, in her defense, she's done this 1,000 times, and she thought she had thrown no food in there, but I had food in one of the bags from the car that she threw in there. And guess what? This creature knew this. This creature figured it out, the nose. And so I'm freaking out. My wife is in the tent sleeping, so I figure she's safe. These animals come through camps all the time. But I'm kind of screwed. I'm outside the tent. It already doesn't like me because, why would it? And I start flashing lights at it, and I'm trying to figure out what it is. Lo and behold, it's this huge skunk. So, yeah, so I sneak over. I get my iPad, scared to death of this skunk. Because I didn't want to get sprayed. You know how that is. I didn't even want our stuff sprayed. Even if it missed me, I know how bad that's going to smell. So I jump in the car and I have all my stuff with me. And Diana's texting me, "Are you in the car?" Because I keep flashing the lights trying to scare it away. And of course, this thing isn't scared at all. It's going after me.
So,
what's that?
Which woke me up. That's why
Yeah,
I
it did
asked.
wake you up. Yep. So
what is
ultimately,
he
what
doing?
happened was
Why?
I stopped flashing the lights. I told myself I'd wait, and I'm sure this thing would be done in a half hour or so.
Yeah.
And I fell asleep in the car. And all the candles, no, 2 of the candles kept burning. 1 burnt out, maybe 2 burnt out.
You left you left those going.
The torches. And I couldn't go back out there because I was afraid the skunk would spray me. But ultimately, the skunk left and the trash needed cleaning, but it wasn't that bad. It was probably very disappointing because all it was 1 sandwich
So
wrapper.
that's Chris's version. That's Chris's version. I have another whole version that I won't share because we already heard Chris's version. And I'll let that slide. I'll let lots of the stuff he says slide. But at any rate,
I would have to say my version is very accurate. So the next morning, it was wonderful. We packed up. We spent time with friends who were at the concert as well.
Right.
And we came home yesterday, and we should have, could have, would have promoted, but we were wiped out. I mean, and it wasn't like we did anything. We just went to a concert and camped out in the great wilderness with monsters attacking us. But we didn't have to exert ourselves physically, and yet I was exhausted. I don't know. I think Diana was too.
Mm-hmm.
And tonight I'm feeling much better.
Yeah. I feel somewhat refreshed, but not 100%. Like,
Oh yeah, not 100%, but close.
you know,
I'd say I'm about 85, 90.
85, 90. That's what
Yeah.
you feel like you're.
Like a B plus to a A minus.
That's not bad.
No,
That's
no, I'm
pretty
getting
good,
better.
you know.
Yeah.
I think it was like a lot of the fresh air too that we did, like a lot of fresh air and stuff like that.
Fresh air helps every time.
Well, yeah, that's I think why we were tired. And then the concert, we didn't get home back to the campsite until oh my gosh,
It was about 12, 12:30.
yeah,
Yeah, the concert went, I'd say a good 3.5, 4 hours between
right. But
Living Color,
then,
the intermission, and then Extreme.
right, but then, you know, you had the little run in with your what do you call it, skunk friend there.
You know, God blessed me because that beast did not make its way to my presence because it was horrifying. It must have been, 12 inches tall, 14 inches tall,
Right.
long tail. And it was saying, "Come, I wish to spray thee." And I was like, nah. And I didn't want to get it like excited because if it just sprayed, period, it was going to get the
Right.
tent or the table and all the stuff. I was like, no, please, God, don't let it spray. And he said, okay, no problem. Go to sleep. So I did, which was amazing because I hadn't slept well the night before. And without it, I would have been dead on my feet the next day. But it messed with my sleep pattern. Now this morning,
Okay.
we both slept till about 6:30, but then Miss Tiny woke everybody up in the house. That's our little Chihuahua who likes to yell at us in the morning. But I think basically I'm going to be back on the original or the good sleep cycle. Hooray!
I hope so. You know,
But it's been weird. I have to confess, I knew that we were going to be promoting. I know we've got 18 days to promote, and I'm still anxious to draw the book. I'm still feeling the all-consuming fire to get through this whole exciting chapter.
Well, I think that first off, we failed at the last campaign, and we're still sort of, I think, reeling from that. And we recognize what
definitely, my confidence was shaken.
Recognize in the sad, on the sad part is we need to just promote more. You know.
That's a big part of it.
You know,
and that's like we've been doing 2 to 3 viewers tonight, going on and off, and it's because basically we haven't cultivated a following. We haven't had a cohesive show, and we don't do enough non-live streams. Shorts will go a long way, and a producer would help too, because look what I've been running at a banner all night long. We'll be live at 8:30. Oh, great! Yeah, that was great, Chris.
Right. So I just feel like, for me personally, it's very hard for me to do the marketing. Like I was actually, you know what I was doing? What I've been doing? I've been sitting here looking for other people's live streams so I could hop in and just say hi and not bring them over.
That's one way to do it.
Is it like shilling? Is that what it's called? A shilling?
Yeah,
You go in,
you can chill.
say, hey guys, pop on over, show some love. Check out, like, for the campaign and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that would be really cool. But I didn't find any streams, and I was just like, well, I don't want to do something that I'm not.
There we go. Look at that, babe.
What's that?
Look at the screen.
Hey, we got another backer.
Yay.
Well, thank you, October, for backed us. That's pretty good.
We had 15 and we're at 85. So that, I wonder what they bought. I'm not going to look on screen because I'm sharing and everything. But thank you so much.
Yeah.
That means we're only 15% away. That means somebody in the audience tonight could make this happen with one purchase of one book, or 3 people with 3 PDFs.
That's right.
But it does make me feel much better.
Yep.
That's a pretty sight for us.
Mm-hmm. But we still, I haven't sent out the email to previous Great Cyclopean backers. I've got a couple things I'm going to do,
Sweet.
probably tomorrow. I've
Well,
got some things.
I got to tell everybody watching, as soon as we make the total, we will start announcing some stretch goals. The first one will be at 500.
Yep.
And we have a wonderful source for metal cards. I'm going to have to talk to Diana, but I'm thinking about either doing a metal bookmark or a metal card to go with every order if we get $500 or more. And if we hit that, then we'll look at the $1,000 stretch goal.
Right.
Now, I know that's pushing it, especially since we're only asking for 100.
Lofty
but
thinking.
we have to take baby steps.
We
have to take baby steps. I think that's fair.
Right. We want to be,
but I have to be open.
Positive. And so I knew that tonight's show was more or less, I think we said we'll stay on for an hour, was more or less, hey guys, we're out here, join us. If you're watching us, and like, I can't tell how many views we have or whatever, but
I think we have like 700 people watching right now.
Yeah, please check out Fund My Comic, The Great Cyclopean. The link is just down below in the description. Take a chance, learn about Peter and all of his wonderful adventures. Many of the books can be bought directly at our website, HeroShack.com. And I think we have a couple on Webtoons. The first
That's
issue
right.
of The Great Cyclopean.
Which you can also find through HeroShack.com.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yep.
So they are out there. Yes.
Part of the thing we want to do here is captivate kids. So, if you're a parent and you have a kid that you want to get into comics, I've yet to find a kid who doesn't like Cyclopean.
Yeah.
The concept is weird, but that's part of the attraction as well.
It's very different. Yeah, it's definitely different,
And there's a lot to relate to.
Yes, there is.
You'd be surprised what people who relate with a one-eyed, mute. I'm not kidding. I know that sounds weird.
I know, but I think I'm excited because we have, we've got the Comic-Con, we've got Plastic City coming up. We're very excited about that. That's August 19th. And then we have our own comic book fest in October. September, I don't have anything planned, but I plan to do a couple of local shows as well. So we'll get out there, and then school will reopen and we'll be back at work, back at school. We are going to be hopefully talking to some of our leaders in the school district to see if we can't get some kind of a comic book / writing / after school program. So we've got some things up our sleeves.
We basically want to show them how to create a comic from scratch. And if that goes well enough during the program, we can literally self-publish books for them to be able to, take and enjoy. In fact, we can make ash cans at a copier with that.
Right.
It just depends on what they make and how cohesive it is. Because I don't want to embarrass them, but if they will listen to the prompts and they do the work, they'll have a good comic. I mean, what is a comic but words and pictures?
You're right. You're absolutely right. I know. And you can get incredibly
barriers.
Well, the funny thing is, it's like when you think about comic books in general, you can get very simplistic artwork with a great dialogue that just carries the story along, or you can get incredibly intricate, beautiful pieces of art with a crap story. I've seen both. I've seen both. So it's a very wide range of talent and types of comic books. When I first started my comic book journey, I only thought of Superman, Batman, and pretty much that was it. When you and I first started talking about it, and Spider-Man, of course, and just the big superheroes that I know, not being a superhero kind of person.
Basically, the pop culture movies and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But I've learned that comic books and graphic novels kind of go hand in hand, and there are some amazing stories out there. And I've been enjoying reading some of them. I have a couple that are more related to my tastes, but anyway.
Well, you mentioned how good some of the reels look tonight. And while we have a little bit of time left, I would like to mention we love promoting you guys just as much as we love promoting ourselves. I like standing in a line up against a wall with another 6 creators holding up our comics so that people can see how wide and varied the world of comics really are. I enjoy being part of a machine of entertainment versus, trying to push everybody off the mountain. There's plenty of room on the mountain. And with that said, I mean, if you watch the opening of any of our shows, I always run reels. And I would encourage, in fact, I would actually beg my fellow creators to share and like our stuff likewise so that we can start networking and expanding and exposing each other to each other's backers and readers. Let's see how many kids are interested in the 24-hour Comics Day challenge. I think I could get many of the middle school to high schoolers to do it. The problem is I think they would all fall out after like 4 hours, their attention span.
Yeah.
But it would be interesting to try. I think in every class, there's always going to be 1 or 2 who might be able to actually pull it off.
Right.
Like I know, and the one comic club I pulled off this year, or I participated in, there is a 5th grader who, without a doubt, is going to be making comics. Without a doubt. This kid was so into it. He actually worked me into his schedule and postponed music lessons so he could go to this club. And there are a few other kids that are interested, but they weren't in the area that we were doing it. By doing it through the schools, we're hoping to be able to help those kids get in and show them, even if they're not going to create, show them the wonder of picking up a book and, okay, don't anybody cringe, but rolling it up, putting it in your back pocket, taking it out, and, reading it when you're bored at the doctor's office or when you're riding in the car, although that can make some people dizzy, or anytime you just need some entertainment, that's what comics were for me. And I think there's still that for people who get into them.
Well, what I wanted to say to that is that's really cool. I appreciate holding a book. Like, I'm a book writer. Like, I love holding my books and I love having my book with me. But many of the kids today read phones, like look at their phones. So I think one of the areas that we could do better in publicizing is the webtoons. We could get the kids the webtoons. Yes, I see that.
Well, if not webtoons, we should look into how to distribute and sell PDFs, whether that's a subscription-based online system. Like we've allowed a lot of Cyclopian to go out free, but there are other things, especially limited edition stories that we've done that are that aren't available online per se that we should try to make available. And I have no problem putting certain ones behind paywalls. The fact is that we don't make a lot of money doing any of this, and it would be nice if we could make a profit, but you can't do that unless you treat it like a business.
Right.
So we have to look at some of that as well.
So I think the reason I brought that up, because I know, I just know how much you loved doing that. Like, even when you talk about it, I can just see that happening. But I'm also being realistic to today's kids, and most of the kids won't necessarily read a comic book. I'm not saying they won't, but it's not like their first thing. But they do most of them have a phone. So so it's an area that I feel like I'm going to explore a little bit more. We also have some other things behind the scenes, Hero Shack stuff that I'm working on. And hopefully we will have that accomplished in the next couple of months or so.
See, I think that we need to, especially with younger readers, use the phone approach as a gateway to get them to buy books eventually. So I agree with you, but I think once a reader always a reader, and if they learn on a phone, but then somehow manage to get a book, I think that'll hook them. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
the experience of a book reading, whether it's a novel, a comic book, or a graphic novel, it changes the whole feel of it. And I think it just has to happen. It's almost like looking at a good steak on TV and then
Yeah.
eating one in real life, you know? Yes, I know. Terry's so right. Originally, comics were meant to be disposable. And truly, you can read them rather roughly, and they will last for years and years. I've done it my whole life. But there is the big niche market of collectors, and most readers are collectors at this point. They'll read the book, but they read it very carefully, and then they return it to the plastic sleeve, and then it goes in the long box, and that's that. And that's fine. I totally understand that. But I've always been one of those guys who, like Terry, viewed these as rather disposable. I didn't want them to get destroyed,
right?
But they weren't so precious that I wouldn't roll them up and walk around with them. In fact,
I think that's what he was. That's basically what he's saying is that literally they were created to be disposable. Like, oh, it's like a newspaper. You know how you stack your old newspapers up?
remember they were printed on newsprint, and you know the funny thing is if you research the history of some of the comic book companies in the Great Depression and shortly thereafter, they made comics because it was cheaper for them to keep their presses running. So they needed something running on the press. And then, like they'd run these things during third shift. And then in the first shift, they'd run, higher paying stuff. But it, for some reason, cost them more money to shut down the presses and start them back up than to just keep running junk through them.
I never realized that.
Yeah. I read that about Charleston Comics, if I'm not mistaken.
That's very cool.
Oh, and you find out so much about the market and the trade back then, where artists and writers were pretty much just jammed into sweatshops,
right,
and told to spit out creations, and they did. That's why sometimes when you look at the classic, they look horrible. And it's like, oh my gosh, did this guy just like rush? Yes, he literally did. He literally rushed right through it because he had to. The press was running and they needed the plates, and here we go.
That's so crazy. That's
It's
so crazy.
It's exciting. Like when I do a comic quickly, I know that the speed I'm doing at is still slow compared to the old guys and compared to really quality Japanese manga artists.
Right.
Like I'm still not world-class speed. I'm faster than a lot of my friends. But, the old times were very different.
Right.
And in Japan, I believe there are still a lot of artists like that, grand artists. Of course, over there, they also hire a lot of artists to do backgrounds and other things as well.
Right. Well, there's so many different kinds of artists and stuff, but I found that very interesting about the comic book. I didn't realize that. Yeah. I didn't realize that's how they became. Like,
well, no, it's not how they became, but it's one of the reasons that like some companies were printing them was because it was cheaper for them to keep the presses running. I don't think the whole industry was run like that. Okay. But I know Charleston, I believe it was Charleston. I'll actually research it because I don't want to be misquoted later, but I believe that was the case. Right. Yes. It was a sweatshop factory. And there is a quality to that. There is a quality to having to rush and to get the stuff out and make it as good as you can. It's not necessarily an artistic, tangible quality. It's more of a creative, like, it's like fast food. How good can it be when it's fast? If it's done well, it can be great. If it's done crappy, it's crappy. But like a good example is a Whopper. If you go to a good Burger King, I guarantee you that Whopper is going to be a delish sandwich. You're going to love it. You go to a crappy Burger King and it's not going to work. The bread's going to be dry on the edges. The burger is going to be overcooked. The cheese is going to be double melted, meaning they had one slice of cheese on there. They put another slice on because the first slice was so old it looked terrible. The lettuce will be wilted.
Why are we talking about Burger King again?
Because what I'm doing is comparing
comic books to
bad
Burger King?
fast food to good fast food. And I'm doing that because I'm saying I think comics are meant to be made at a fast pace, but they can be well done, like a good Burger King, or poorly made, like a bad Burger King.
Oh, you're using your analogies. You and your analogies. You're so funny. I'm
Hey,
like,
look here, you little sports
wait
car.
for a second. I came back and all I heard was he's drooling over a Burger King burger. I'm like, where, why, what happened? What happened?
You're
So
making
this
fun of
is
my
pretty
Burger
good.
King
We got
burger?
another backer. I can't wait to check to see who it is.
All right, hang on. Let me check the total. Should I share it? Oh, I don't
can
have it.
What?
We got another one?
No, I don't know. Did we?
I don't think so. I think somebody might have shared it. We're still at 85.
Yep. That's very cool.
Wishful thinking is cool, but we're still at 85. We do appreciate it. With that, what is it here? We got 18 days to go. Now, some people haven't asked anything, so I will mention this. We deliberately set this campaign to 21 days.
Yeah.
I really wanted to set it to 7 or 14 days, but Diana and I compromised. If this goes well, I'm going to try to push a 14-day campaign. The thought process there is, number one, my mental health, and number two, satisfaction of customer
Your
base.
mental health. What are you talking about?
So the 30 to 60-day campaigns are mentally taxing to my creative mind. I want to be making comics, and to spend 60 hard-earned days promoting. And I'm not whining, folks. I love you all. I would promote every single day if I could. But like, I would rather make comics. That's really where I'm at. I don't think people really understand it. I know a lot of creators don't, but it's not like someone who's just writing or someone who's just drawing or just lettering or just coloring. It's more of a constant process. Like it's a farming process where you're rotating your crops constantly so that you always have like fresh tomatoes.
Stop with the analogies. Oh my God. Oh my
I can't help it. I'm an analogy boy.
Basically, for you, because you do everything, you do the writing, the drawing, the inking, the coloring, the layouts, you do everything. You put the whole book together. All I do is read it and make editorial changes if needed and stuff like that.
But it's funny, like today we knew we were going to be on tonight, and I could have
Yes.
spent all day doing a video promoting it, which I should have done. But instead, I drew the roughs for the 11 pages that are done roughed for Cyclopian 6 because I love making the book. And 5 is beautiful. I mean, we've sent that to the printer. When you guys get this book, you'll be shocked at how quick you get it because we already know what we got. We already finished it.
Right.
There's no waiting for anybody in any other, portion of the book to finish. And I'm not knocking anybody. I understand how things go, but like sometimes you'll order a book and things happen and you have to wait for, one part of it to be finished.
Mhm.
Folks, there is no waiting here. All lines are open. Come to register 1.
There's no there's no
No waiting.
You're funny.
Yeah.
So this is good. At least we got one backer. So I'm glad about that.
Thank you, backer. We'll find out who you are. Boy, that sounds creepy, but we do appreciate it, and of course we'll know who you are because we have to ship it to you. But it's a blessing, and
we appreciate it.
we only have $15 to go.
Right
So
before the book gets in your hand.
when
And
it's that
again-
cheap, when it's that low, we can actually beg our family and probably get that.
Listen, again, this went live because we made a mistake. That's one of the little things that I'm still working out. Instead of putting 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it went Pacific Time. So it was midnight when it actually went live. We didn't do any build up on the before the Wednesday show because we were waiting to make sure that it was approved by Fund My Comics, and it was, and there were no glitches, but it took a couple of days, and for some reason in our head we didn't factor. We thought we just would submit it and it would get, oh yes, it's fine, like it would be an automatic. Like I didn't expect it to have the time that it did. Not that it was a long time, it was just we again kind of jumped the gun. a little bit, maybe. But
You mean on
the
opening
good
this
news
one?
is-
No,
yes, the
I
good
honestly
news-
think. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think we had it set up right, and I think there was a glitch, and it probably came because we kept having to resave the page. So I think we put in Eastern, but when you go back and you refresh and you're making changes, I think it resets to Pacific.
You have
I
resets
think that's what
yes.
happened.
Yeah,
So
that makes
I'm just becoming more aware of that. And I
Yeah.
read somebody else had a similar issue launching
Mhm.
theirs. So I think it's just user error.
Yep.
But to be honest, I am so happy to be on this platform. It
Yeah,
is
me too, it's gonna
it
be
is dedicated primarily to comics and games.
Yep.
They've let a couple other things in, like there's a music project on there right now.
Yeah.
But that's part of the beauty of it. They allow that freedom.
Right.
Like I know
Right.
if we ever do make a Cyclopian video game with Jace,
Yeah.
we could market it there and he would let us do that.
Right. Exactly.
That's awesome. That is
Exactly.
great.
That is super cool. So Fund My Comics, the new kid in town for crowd fundraising. It's very awesome. It's run by a very cool gentleman, Luke Stone. I've read lots of good things about him. When I checked out his actual company, I was very satisfied with the way our customers make payments, the way we get paid. So yeah, we're very excited. And hopefully we are going to have some shows that we'll be on. If not, I am going to try to at least get on a couple of shows in the chat and say hi
Well,
and
we'll
share the link.
continue doing independent streams like this.
Mhm.
And I will
Yep.
start guilt tripping some of my friends to help me promote this.
Yeah.
Because we have a lot of friends I never put any pressure on, you know. I don't want to be that Amway sales guy who, like, you're talking and the guy is like, I have soap that does a better job than Dawn. Okay, thank you.
Oh my
Maybe you've
gosh.
never had an Amway guy in your presence, but that's how they work.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to be that Amway guy, you know. Hey, Uncle Timmy, will you buy my book? Uncle Timmy's like, I haven't bought you anything for 6 Christmases, Christopher. Yeah, I know, but Uncle Timmy.
Oh my God. How come I can't hear you?
Well, because I was sipping my Coke.
Oh, okay. I'm like all of a sudden.
For us
The
one
rainbow.
band.
Hey,
For us
hey.
one-man bands. Hi, Rabbit. Hey, Cooper.
I know.
What's up? Amway is a I actually considered joining it. I was on workers' comp, and the guy that was driving me to my medical appointments was also an Amway salesman. So he was a medical taxi driver, basically, and he was also an Amway salesman. So I listened to many sales pitches, and I was getting bit by the dream. I was like, oh, I could do this and become a billionaire. And I just didn't. Jessica Howard in the Facebook chat. Hello,
Yeah.
sister.
I just saw that.
Yay. How's it going, Jess? We're pushing our comic book. As you can see, I've got a facial complexion issue, but it's good to see you. Jess knows me from the 3D world, where I have not often worn face paint.
Never.
You know, while she's here, it's a good time to just reflect. Jess and I were very good friends with a guy named Freddie who passed away recently. Diana knew him as well. And hey, girl, it's good to see you. And, you know, just sharing the condolences. It's always sad, you know, but my goodness, how are things doing? We are doing good. We've made issue number 5 of the Great Cyclopian, and we came on here tonight to kind of shill for that.
Yes.
We've
buy
scored
it
a little bit of
on My
success.
Comics and
Yeah. But we're actually, we started off tonight at $15. Our opening night went slow because of how everything went down. But tonight we've gotten up to 85, 15 short of the $100 goal, but we are sure to make it. And it's just exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, Jess. I've been watching you on Facebook. It hit me hard too, which is why you guys haven't seen me. I just don't know what to say or do about the whole thing. Freddie hit me on a lot of levels in life and death. And broke my heart the whole way there. And not to knock him, he's Freddie was a great guy. He had a heart of gold. It was just hard for obvious reasons, especially when you love the guy. It's hard to see friends and family and whatnot struggle.
Exactly.
You guys are gonna make me cry. I'm gonna have to just hang on here. Okay, I'm good. See, I start thinking about it and I start getting effed up.
Yeah.
It's kind of it's a little weird because it connects with Mom as well, who God rest her soul. They're all hanging out in heaven now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we miss you too. We need to do something, have a reunion party or something. Especially this summer. It's been great this summer. I wonder how long we're gonna have good days though. The last few days when it was like 60 degrees at night, it got cold. I was like, oh no, it's the fall already. It's coming back.
It's not the fall.
Not yet. Not yet. It shouldn't be, but like summer started so late.
Well, that's because we were in school like till the end of time, it felt like, because snow days and all of that stuff.
Yes.
Folks,
if you don't know what a snow day is, you're blessed.
We had a lot of snow days in our district this year.
So we are at what? An hour and 22. I had about a 20-minute show. So we're right at about an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And that means we need to clip the show.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Jess. I can't tell what you look like. You could have come on live, Oh, no, we didn't share the stream. But we are live on Wednesday nights, and we always take guests on Wednesday nights.
Yeah.
Tonight, we just wanted to welcome everybody to the campaign and say hi to y'all. And, once I face paint, I'm dedicated. I have to go. I have to do a show. So I face painted, and Diana couldn't get out of it. God bless you, Diana. And so we've done it.
Sorry again.
Max is putting on a celebration?
No, I think she said that at the end of August.
I see that. Yeah. Max putting it on. His brother, I bet.
Oh, well, that's good. I mean, that's
Jess, I'll drop you a line. We'll get some details and
we'll
what do they say? Trade digits?
What?
I don't know. That's what your people call my people will trade digits.
Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so stupid. I'm so sorry.
So I'm gonna kill the stream before you sneeze again.
Yep. So listen, guys, Fund My Comic. The link is in the description. Check it out. $5. You can get yourself a PDF. It is a fantastic book. It continues Peter the Great Cyclopian story. So check it out. Show us some love. Share, like, and all that good stuff. Okay.
All right. Let me see if I can find the trailer so we can go out with it. Ready?
They call me a